Yo, what is up? It's me, your girl Lily Valor. We are back again this evening with a new drawing. So, yeah, you know the deal. It's gonna be chill. We're gonna listen to some music and it should be good. I've been liking this vibe of doing like a few full shot pieces and then like doing a few cropped in, like super zoom drawings and then like pulling back again whenever I feel like it. It's nice. Who knew having a sketchbook could like be enjoyable? I never liked them before, but I think I just didn't have the right one. Recently actually, I went back through my Inktober pieces. What year even was that? I don't remember. But the 1 year that I did it, I went back through those drawings because I had this frame that didn't have anything in it. I think it was like pretty small, so I was like, maybe this will be the right size. And it was perfect. And so I went through my Inktober drawings, which are all on like loose leaf pieces of paper. And I found one like little bamboo that I drew. It was like so cute. But I put it in this frame and it like fit perfectly. And in that moment, I was like, this is nice that it wasn't in a book. So I don't know. You win some, you lose some, I guess. Maybe like 2 weeks ago, it came across my mind. I was like, I wonder if I'll ever do Inktober again. Or like maybe I'll do it this year. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I've just been really enjoying doing these smaller pieces. And so then I was like, heck yeah, let's just do more. No, I'm doing enough. I don't need to do more. Also, the designer of the shirt that I drew in that video I posted today, he commented saying it was so cool and like, honestly, that just like made my day. That's all I need. That's just super cool. I feel really seen. Our favorite tradition is coming up. Yeah, no, I thought about it earlier and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta bring it up to Magnus. There's a tradition where there's one day out of the whole year where Two Frames and I are not obligated to speak to each other. It's like honestly the best. You know how like a lot of people have secret handshakes with their friends? We have our like secret tradition. If you're watching this in the future, Two Frames and I really are friends. I promise. I can't believe we're not gonna get any more figure end until next October. Or like next October. 2027. I can't wait though. I know this past season was only 10 episodes, but I loved every single one. I think I love how much it like really savors all of the moments. Like it doesn't feel like rushed ever. So I am pretty pleased with my progress. Yesterday I tried drawing in a different room at a different table just to switch up the vibe, and it was weird. I didn't hate it, but it definitely was different. I can definitely draw anywhere as long as the surface is flat. This is me trying to prepare to go outside, honestly. Something about drawing in public is kind of nerve-wracking. Also, I've always just worked on like really important drawings that like couldn't possibly get dirty or any blemished or anything like that. But with a sketchbook, it feels a little bit more secure. But I'm like so used to my home vibes and like my studio vibes that like, it's kind of hard to beat that energy. But it's also nice to go outside. Have I tried variations of dot sizes? I have. I think on a single piece, I prefer to just stick with one. In this sketchbook, the very first drawing I did, I used like a 000 size, which is like the smallest one I have. And it looks really nice, but then it was just like a little bit too fine and it took me too long. And then the one after that I used a 0. And I think that was a little bit too heavy for this particular paper. And so now I'm just using a 000, which honestly works out perfectly. I made a really big drawing once with like really small dots. And after that, I was like, I don't know if I can ever draw with dots that small ever again. But as for using different sizes, like on a single piece, for some reason, I just have never felt the need to do that. Or like, I never really felt like I wanted to. I probably could, or maybe should. But like, once I start drawing, I like don't feel like switching pens. Probably wouldn't hurt to switch it up, huh? I think I'd like to try tattooing someday. If the opportunity comes up or the moment feels right. So I sketch out a little template first. Yeah, I do have a reference photo, and then I sort of map out the bigger shapes, at least so I know where to place like the darkest dots or like the darker shadow areas. A lot of the time in the references that I pick, they're wearing black, and so I don't have to worry so much about like the highlights, but I still always get worried about going too dark in areas that are light, but it's never really that light, realistically. Funny enough, in this reference photo, this person's hand is in their pocket. And in the last drawing, it also was like a hand in pocket reference image. And I kind of think I just like the way it like has that like angular crease. Love the hand in pocket. Yeah, I don't know. Something about it is just nice. It's really good. Is heavy metal still alive? Absolutely. Heavy metal is more alive than ever. One of my favorite bands, musically and lyrically, is Gojira. They have really deep lyrics and incredible riffs. They've never not been good. So it's just one of those bands where I'm like, you're just too consistent to not have the top spot. Bring Me the Horizon is another band that's up there that's been around for a while and is also very consistent. Like Moths to Flames is also up there. That is a band that is definitely near and dear to my heart. Like, it's one of those bands where, yeah, you kind of like watch them mature as musicians and people, and that's like pretty cool. If I put a pickup mic on my table, if I could pick up the stippling sounds, I have thought about that. But at the same time, like, I don't know what the line is between ASMR and being really annoying. Because there's a lot of tapping going on. And I don't know if you want to hear that, It would sound kind of like a woodpecker. Like, is that a vibe? I don't know. If you watch this from the future, let me know in the comments if that would be a vibe or if it would be annoying. I think of sand dunes with pointillism. Yeah, actually, I agree. I feel like I've described it like that somewhere before, but it is nice. It is like grains of sand, and it feels soft in that way. And it's also a reminder of the passage of time because it takes so fucking long. I drew an hourglass like many years ago. I was like, wow, I'm literally drawing every single granule of sand. I did this like series of massive cards. It must have been an A2 paper, but I did a royal flush. So it was 10 jack, queen, king, ace. And the ace was an hourglass. Historically, I tend to work on large pieces that take me several months to complete. And while I love doing that, like I love drawing big, it's definitely not as sustainable as doing these like sort of smaller pieces where I can finish it in like a week or two. And there's a little bit more of like an instant gratification. I feel like stippling is like boiling water in the sense of like if you stare at it, nothing ever happens. But for some reason, if you like look away for a bit and come back, like, all of a sudden the water's boiling and also all of a sudden there's a drawing on the page. The moment to moment progress is like so slow that it feels like nothing's happening. I think when I first started drawing more seriously, the patience was something I needed to actively work on, which is hard anyway. Anytime you start something new that like you aren't used to doing, it's hard. And it's easy to get frustrated. I recognized that the patience was something that I sort of lacked, and so a lot of my practice was spent trying to just overcome that inside. Occasionally I do consider learning to stipple with my left hand so that I could just use both hands at the same time, and like maybe that would save me. Double the dots per minute would add up eventually. When I first started, I would keep track of my hours just to like make sure I was getting time in, like meaningful time in practice. Nowadays, I wake up, draw, sleep, draw, eat, draw. I also think half of it is just the mind space, if you can just find the right focus. If you make stuff, no matter what the stuff is, people will always ask you for free things. But I have gifted my art to people quite a lot. I think it's also just cute. I drew a scene from Howl's Moving Castle once for a friend's housewarming gift. And that honestly was one of my favorite pieces. There was a lot of like clouds in it, and I really enjoyed doing those clouds. I liked it a lot more than I thought. I've also done a lot of pet portraits, which, you know, isn't my favorite thing, but it's fine. There's just a lot of pressure with those, but, you know, I'll do them. Am I working with a reference? I am, yeah. There is a person that I follow on Instagram who posted this, like, fit pic, and I just really liked the way that she had her one foot, like, pulled back that created this tug right here, and I just love the shape. And you know, we got decently far. Does anyone remember where I started? Because I don't. I think I didn't have this bottom sleeve here done, or this I think wasn't even connected yet. Which, isn't it crazy? You can sort of see like an arm, I guess, like an elbow sort of like vibe right here underneath it all. Love that shit. I will see you guys next week, next Tuesday, same place, same time, same me, probably same drawing because, you know, it's slow. But yeah, this was cool. Thank you guys and have a great night.